All right, folks, a quick heads up on this video. It's actually two parts. The first is the bonus session with Tony Caravano from our interview last week. We're going to talk about Ocean Coast updates in that, but then we had him back on to talk about updates to the Explore package. And instead of make those two videos, we made it one. So both of those are in this video. I'll put a timestamp so you can jump forward if you want to. Thanks again, Tony Caravano and Team Rivian. Here's the rest of the interview. Is there anything that you'd want to talk about, Rivian, things that you're excited about? Is there any news you could share to us? Anything, how you want to end this last overtime is up to you. Take it away.
Let's go with something that I think is pivotal to all of our Ocean Coast fans out there.
Yes.
We've got a really exciting set of announcements that are about to happen. So we are going to be launching Ocean Coast with the dark wood combination.
Wow.
So the very first vehicles that you see will be Ocean Coast plus dark wood, and it's beautiful. We will actually remove the light wood, but for those that are really keen on the full light on light, we actually have probably one of the most exciting product features that I've seen in a while. Just for me personally, from a taste perspective, I'm really pumped. We've got a new, mostly vegan leather wrap. It'll be light, offered in light, and also a dark version as well. Super excited about also. So what we'll see now is, we're removing one of these options, but we've got three that I think are super exciting for the community. So for those customers that are really keen on light, the wrap those will start delivery later on this year. But we will start our Ocean Coast with dark wood very, very soon. I mean, those will start happening pretty imminently. All right, let's hear some feedback.
My God.
Let's hear some feedback. You're seeing this first. You're the first to see it.
Wow. So, man, that is super exciting because so many people do want the light Ocean Coast interior. And there's actually been a lot of comments about that light wood as it relates to whether people like it or don't like it. And the fact that you guys recognized an issue and you're coming to the table with multiple solutions is amazing. And yeah, that
and it keeps us, Skylar, it keeps us on track, right? Like that's the goal here was provide more optionality, but also keep us on track. So if we reach out to you and we say, hey, Skylar, your birthday is coming up. Are you ready? And are you interested in Ocean Coast with the dark wood? You have the opportunity to tell us yes or no. I actually want to wait for one of the wraps, knowing that it'll be later this year. But now you have more flexibility and more optionality as well. This is kudos to RJ and our design team, for making this work, and our production team, of course. If we go back to my birthday, was it birthday or Christmas? If we go back to the present I'm getting, I'm pulling one of these for myself.
Okay,
really?
Perfect. Wow.
It's so clean. For me, like that aesthetic was just really, really nice to me. It was just kind of beautiful. I thought the team did a great job.
Tony, Jimmy, Skylar, thank you so much for rejoining. We have a little bit of an update that Tony let us know. We thought it would be best to add this on to the current segment about Ocean Coast 2.0 is what I've been calling it. And I love it. It's grown on me like a ton. So we'll spend the first hour talking about when I get my pre-order, and then we'll spend the second hour talking about this update. No, Tony, take it away and tell us what we need to add to the story as far as updates.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, again, thank you for allowing us to hop on last week. We've received a good amount of feedback and outreach from being able to connect with you all, and just having the chance to just give a little bit more of who we are, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. So it was a very easy call for us to come right back. We have the Ocean Coast update that we shared with you all last week. I think that's really great and exciting news. And we have an additional update that we wanted to make and just provide some more context to customers who are reading this email. And now this conversation will add some additional color. So essentially, we've made the decision to focus even more on simplification, which has meant that the Explore package is going to be discontinued. It will be removed as an option. So it's important news for customers that have selected Explore. They've been on this journey with us for a while with Explore sort of in their minds. That was their picture of themselves in their Rivian. And essentially, it's a really, really important decision that we've taken here. If you remember back to RJ's earlier emails this year, we focused a lot on simplification. And we've made and taken a lot of decisions recently that really focus on simplifying our production process, simplifying the supply chain. And this is yet again one of those decisions where, with RJ's guidance, with our production leadership and our engineering leadership's guidance, we've made this call. Now, there are steps for those individuals. I'll get to those in a moment. But again, we know that it's a really important group of pre-order holders that have been with us for quite some time. So we wanted to provide additional color. The really clear point here is that the take rate for Explore was actually much lower than we anticipated and expected. So the silver lining that sort of undergirds all of this is we will put out more adventure trim, our largest take rate by far, more adventure trim vehicles more quickly. That means more people driving Rivians faster. And that is critical, as we all know. It's really important, as we all know. So while it's a hard decision to make, we also do know that there's fruit at the end, for those customers that are also waiting to get into their Rivian for the first time.
Makes sense. So you mentioned steps. Did you want to get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a customer will have a couple of different options. Obviously, we will immediately invite you to reconfigure. So to go back into the configurator on .com, go into your account and play around with the configurator. Sort of imagine another version of you in another Rivian, and look at the adventure trim and make those selections. Most of these customers are pre-3-1, so they're price locked customers. So their pricing will remain the same, their pricing set will remain the same, and their pre-order date will remain the same on file, right? And I think that's really two really important points that we know customers will have questions about. With those two things staying the same, you then configure the vehicle that you want next. If you do not take an action, we will just leave your configuration as unconfigured. We're not going to boot it out. It's not going to be kicked out or canceled for you. What it means, though, is that we can't give you a delivery window until you actually have a configuration that is saved in your profile or saved to your account. So it is an important step for you to get the information you want most outside of taking delivery. And we also know that there will be some customers that decide to cancel, and I truly do hope that folks will stay along the ride. Like we really do want that to be the case, but these are individual decisions that folks will make. Our team is there in the Customer Engagement Center to help you think through this. Feel free to call us, to chat with us, to email us. We'll answer any questions that you have. If you opt to cancel your configuration, we will save your pre-order date, which will help us to prioritize you in the future should you come back and change your mind, which I think is also important for us to share as well.
Off the top of my head, I do not remember the price increase, or the price difference rather, between Explore and Adventure, because just initial reaction is people are going to think about the price. And do you have that at your fingertips, both pre-3-1 and post-3-1 pricing?
Yep, it's approximately $5,000, $5,500 difference. So the best way to put it is that a pre-3-1 customer will now see $75,500 for the R1S and $73,000 for the R1T. So that's the general math that a customer will see when they go back into their account, and of course it'll differ based on which rule set you're in for pricing.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
A bunch of us have always wondered what the breakout for each vehicle was as far as configurations. Is that something? I mean, if it's that low, are we talking less than 5% or Explorer? Are we talking less than 10, less than 7? What, can we finally get that breakdown?
No, I can't provide that one. It really is a great question. I think it's a really good question. It's one of those things that I would certainly have flagged with a few others before I hopped on to talk through that piece. But let's have that for Tony. Will go to comms and to legal, and let's save this one for next time.
Yeah. I don't know that I have a question. I have a bit of encouragement to people because I feel like I'm getting on the brink of an R1S email or notification. And even today, Guide Kyle sends me a text and says, any chance you're interested in limestone? And, as you said, Tony, to have your heart set on one or two options for like 4 decades or 4 years, it just sometimes feels the same.
We're going dog years here.
It's like, yeah. When you then come with a new one, you're like, oh, no. But I'm not kidding. Within like an hour, I was already like, yeah, I could probably do limestone.
Mostly because I told you it was my favorite. That's why. It's my favorite color.
And I don't want to belittle what $5,500 or what the change could be, but because I'm sure that a bulk of whatever those people were choosing that to save that expense and that money, which is completely understandable. But if it was from a stylistic standpoint, man, it's just everything's so beautiful. But the other thing that I'll say is that once you have really defined and come to believe the core priority, it is a difficult choice, but it's always easier to make the tough choice. And so even though this wasn't easy, it seems to me that it's clear that it's the right choice, because we've heard RJ say over and over, we have to prioritize scale and speed. And if that's going to get in the way, then you just got to do the greater good. And I can understand it for sure. I do feel for those who are going to be disappointed. I would echo that you guys didn't take it lighthearted. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And look, there's the clarity in the decision. To your point, understanding that all year we have been making decisions, and very tough decisions, to simplify as often as we can. And we're seeing the fruits of that labor. I'm going back to normal next week, which I love, spending time at the plant, and we're seeing the increased velocity, right? So these are really key decisions. But this is also an individual decision, and that I really do appreciate. Each individual has to think through, was it the content or the D-content, right, of the Explore package that they were really in love with? Have they watched some of us with some of the content that is included in Adventure or Launch Edition and said, oh, actually, I'm actually more keen on that than I ever imagined? So these are individual decisions that folks will make. There is a pricing decision for folks to make as well. And again, that's why our team is here to help answer any questions as people think through what's most important to them. But I also want to stress that, and we've said this before, but there is a future roadmap. There are more vehicles, more Rivian vehicles coming. Our teams, I'm in the building where design happens, and whenever I get to sneak into the design studio, don't tell Jeff, I fall in love with what's coming next. And that is going to give us a chance to have more pricing options, lower cost options as well in the future. So, it isn't just the R1 series. There's more that Rivian's very excited to unveil in the future.
So can you just show us like a quick camera angle turn to the R2 studio real quick?
There are certain things I won't do so I can keep my job. I really like this job. Sneaking into Jeff's studio is one of the things I try not to do too often.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. Skylar, Jimmy, are you guys thinking of any kind of follow-up or comments at all?
Well, I think it's the right move, and helping more people get their vehicles quicker is going to be best for the majority. And it sounds like Explorer configurations were the minority, and I do feel for those folks, but at the same time, I do feel like it is for the greater good. The other thing that I'll talk through real quick is just the things that I love about the Adventure package. There was 2 major things that sold me. One is the premium audio, which is incredible. The other is ventilated seats. And granted, I live in a hot climate, so that may be a bigger deal to me than some others. But then the other thing that I fell in love with that I didn't expect is the headliner. The Alcantara headliner is really nice, and it adds a lot to kind of the luxury feel of the vehicle, I think.
Great points. What else are we missing from the difference between those two? You hit on the two biggest thing for me was seats and audio. Huge. Was there anything else that we need to hit on for that? Because Kyle, that's a great point.
Well, some people didn't like the wood grain aesthetic.
And then, we got that taken care of.
The adventure package. And now that's going to be addressed with the other trim options. So,
yeah.
That, and I guess one of the last big ones would probably be the Bluetooth speaker.
That's right.
And, granted, we camp a lot now that we have the truck, and I would guess, Tony, as much camping as you're doing now, you guys are probably using the speaker a lot more than you ever would have used a Bluetooth speaker before, even when you're playing beach volleyball.
Well, I mean, you'll see a Rivian speaker every weekend at 30th Street in Newport Beach. We always have it out for volleyball, but you're right. I love the lantern. I love the speaker itself, and Skylar, like in my top 3 features of my R1T, the sound in the cab is just so amazing. So it's always on, music's always blaring. So those are features that I hope that some of these Explore customers have a chance to fall in love with as they see and touch and feel Rivians in the future.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a plan on kind of re-showcasing some highlights to those customers as well?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, all of that information is ready at Rivian.com, and in their account, they will be guided through the choices and the options that they have. And then our teams are also training up right now. They're ready to answer a lot of these questions also. Awesome. Additionally, our marketing and our social teams, they're doing a great job. They're going to continue to tell the stories of our products. So we'll see more and more information, just reminding folks of what those of us who have these vehicles, those of us who are up next, are most excited about, for what those who have done a demo drive or have been to the Venice Hub are excited about. So we have more storytelling on the way as well.
I do see one major negative, though. We don't need any more videos like Jimmy dancing around camp to his camp speaker playing Britney Spears. That is not what the world needs right now.
Or the world needs more. The world just may need more.
I only sent that to you, Skylar.
Maybe we can splice that in just a little bit of a tease. I don't know. I'll just wrap up by saying, look, we appreciate having an additional channel to have direct dialogue with the community. We spent so much time talking about community. We want to have more transparent conversations. This is a great place to let us do that. We appreciate you all inviting us in. And we also appreciate the chance to just go where our customers are. So thank you for that. Thank you for letting us also to share a more complete story of the updates we're providing this week.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's a huge honor, and this is all good stuff. We definitely appreciate you and the team. I know it's a lot of work. Thank you. Skylar, Jimmy, thank you guys.
Yep. Thanks, Tony.
Bye, gang.
Thanks everybody.
Rachel,
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's it for this one. Again, catch the entire episode on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app. Until the next video, we'll be hanging out at rivianstories.com, so we hope to see you there.